Hey, hello, I think this is recording. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. It is me, I'm here again, my crazy ass. Another video for the week, and I thought long and hard about what I wanted to do, what I wanted to say. So I came prepared, I have some notes, so got some tea. Yeah, I hope you're all having a really good week. Cheers to everyone out there. If you're new to my channel, my name is Goliath and I am the artist, author and creator of the Goliath Tarot deck. I'm also an occultist, a spiritualist, I'm a medium, a psychic, and try to be a good man, try to be a good person. I wear many different hats, like we all do. Anyway, so if you're new and you would like to support me and this by liking the video, leaving a comment or subscribing if you would like to, this helps other people out there find me, and then it makes it easier for everyone. And then it gives me more incentive to do these videos. Anyway, I'm gonna get started on the topic at hand today. We're just gonna jump straight into it. So I thought about what I wanted to say, and lately I've just been a bit down, I've been a bit sad, there's been a lot going on in my life, and that's life. We go through the journey, we get lots of setbacks, lots of things are constantly jerking us around and knocking us off course. And we're constantly trying to find out, what are we doing? Where am I going? What's going to happen next? Trying to figure out, it's all kind of unfolding at one time. Life is fucking hard. Life is hard. And that's not to say that I'm, taking away something from someone out there that's in a war right now or is displaced or homeless. I'm just saying that life is a journey. And everyone's journey is different. Some journeys are harder than others, but I tend to believe that we chose this, and I tend to believe that we have to go through the dark nights of the soul. We have to go through the pain. We have to walk through the fire of life. So I've had a lot of dark nights in my life, still going through them, and I'm sure there's more to come, but that's where I'm at. So I'm just being transparent and being honest with you guys. So the topic at hand today is getting shit done, okay? Even with all of the chaos going on around us, even with some of the really crazy ass shit that goes on out there in the world, I'm still here. You're still here. We still have to stay focused. We still have to stay on task. We still have to show up for ourselves, show up for each other, and just do the fucking work. There's no other way around it. So I'm going to share some tips with you and some books that I found have helped me on my journey. If you're like me, you're probably a witchy person and you are completely on your own. You probably looked at like the black sheep of the family. You're completely thrown away, cast away by society, gaslit to the shit house. People telling you you're crazy, you're insane. Welcome to my life, but that it is what it is. And I'm not going to change. Even people now that see me doing videos are just laughing at me, like cringing at me because it's like so crazy. But at the end of the day, I had to get to a point within myself where I was living in my heart and living in my truth rather than not be authentic, even if that's not received, even if it's completely seen as insane. This is who I am, okay? So I'll try and stay on topic as much as I can, and I've tried to look a little bit more professional for you today. So yes, this is a professional video, and as much as I am into the occult and I'm into witchcraft, I'm into magic and all of this, heavy duty stuff, I also have a realistic approach to life and understand that it all comes from mindset. So if you have a weak mind, if you have a mind that is like running astray and is just overstimulated and overexcited all the time, and it's not able to stay focused and see things through and concentrate, well, then your magic is going to be weak. Your relationships are going to be weak. Everything that you do will be weak as piss. Okay, so psychology is where it's all at. And one of the things that really pisses me off a lot is that everything we do is based on psychology. Everything that we do is based on the makeup of our psychology, but yet it seems that it's just completely ignored or completely evaded. So anyway, so first of all, I'm going to say that it is very, very difficult to achieve greatness or achieve something in your life when you don't have a solid support system around you, when you feel isolated, when you're in fragmentation. That's a very hard place to try and show up for yourself every day and try and make something happen for yourself. Because as much as I am about, walking your own path and living your own truth, we're all fractals of each other and we all need each other. So whether that's having a lover or having a very dependable friend that you can depend on, or whether that's having a teacher or a mentor, it's very important that we have these things in our lives because we need resources. We need people that can understand us and support us. Now, I'm an esoteric artist and a witch. So a lot of people would look at that like that's insane and they don't understand what it is. And hey, I understand as well, because when people ask me, what do you do with yourself? I tend to just make up something like, I paint houses or I'm in hospitality. I don't tend to tell them that I do esoteric art and that I made a tarot card deck and I'm into the occult, because that's just the jump of that to a regular person is like jumping the Grand Canyon. It's a very hard jump for them to jump. So I don't even bother trying to explain it. So I'm lucky. I have one or two friends around me that I feel are on a soul level connection where I feel supported, and I feel that if I called up and I needed them and I needed their help and I'm having a breakdown and I'm down on the floor, that I have a resource in them to come to, where they're not going to come at me from a place of judgment, and they're not going to come at me from a place of trying to manipulate me to get something out of me, which is something that I've struggled with quite a lot in my life. People that have tended to connect with me, particularly in my earlier years, like in my 20s and in my earlier 30s, was more like everything, they had like a poison barb attached to it. Like they weren't really interested in me. They just wanted to manipulate me or control me or whatever. So we need resources. First up, we need each other. And it could even be me right now. Like if you're trying to stay focused and you're trying to stay on task in your own life, and it doesn't matter what it is, whether you're writing a book or whether you're just trying to get through the day, you're trying to get out of bed every day. Maybe my videos are helping. Maybe you're listening to this right now and you're taking something out of it and you're nodding your head and you're like, yeah, I understand. I understand what he's saying. And then maybe you have a resource in me, maybe that's something that you have. Because life is complex. There's many moving parts to life. And so if you don't feel supported, it's very, very difficult to, be on your own. Anyway, I'm going to read out some of the notes that I have. And by the way, I've been on my own for a long time and I'm okay with being on my own, but in the past couple of years, I've really thought about, missing what it would feel like to be in a relationship, what it would feel like to feel in love. And I've been in love, I know love. I love being in love. I love romance. Some people think I'm a hard ass, but I'm actually quite a romantic man. And to have a partnership in my life, I remember at times when I had a partnership that I was feeling, or I felt very, everything sped up. Everything was you get a lot of support. I was in a happier place. And then you learn to be on your own for a long period of time. And then you kind of feel like you get used to being on your own, I guess you could say. And that's not really a good thing, because we're here to form relationships with people. So yes, I have been on my own for a long time, and I have to do a lot of things that I don't really enjoy doing. I'm not quite like sitting here in front of a video talking. This is not my natural state. I'm actually quite a shy, well, not a shy, but I'm quite a hermit, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a big thing that I push myself to do, to do this. But I do a lot of things, marketing, editing, I've got to kind of teach myself new things all the time, because if I don't teach myself those things, no one's going to teach them to me. Like, that's the thing I want to say in this video. No one's coming to save you. You have to do the work. You have to save your own ass. And I do it all the time. I have breakdowns. I have panic attacks. I have dark times. And then I have times that I'm really, really high, like high up in the fucking sky. And I'm like, everything's really, really well. I'm doing amazing. I'm in a good place, and I'm making my art, and I'm feeling secure. I'm feeling happy. And then the next day something happens, and it's a fucking roller coaster. Okay. So I have to be able to kind of soothe myself a lot of the time. And I look at things like doing videos, and it's cringy, but I just suck it up and do it and do the work, I used to I went through a period after my lockdowns here in Melbourne where I just didn't really enjoy like working out. I didn't enjoy going for a run. And now I wake up in the morning, and, I've been doing it for a while, and you start to see the results. And then now I can't wait to get up and get on the boxing bag and go for a run. I can't wait. So trying to find things that motivate yourself. But anyway, this video is getting a little bit all over the shop already. But yes, having resources around you are really, really important. So trying to find something that turns you on. So I would say, if you're feeling a bit stuck at the moment, the best advice I could give you would be get in your body, try and go for a run, try and go for a walk. Even if today that all you feel that you can do is just stand up in the chair, then let that be enough. Okay. And then tomorrow, maybe you'll stand up in the chair and you'll take one step. One step is better than no steps. And I think sometimes I do personally, I know I will, and I'll just admit it. Sometimes I do get disheartened, because I feel that for the amount of time and energy and effort that I've put into something, or I've put into my artwork and my whatever I'm working on, or the effort that I put into working out, I don't feel that I'm getting the results maybe fast enough. But I will say that slow, I know it sounds hard, and I've got an Aries moon, okay, and I'm a Sag, Scorpio cusp, but sometimes slow and steady wins the race, yeah? Life is a journey, and it is sometimes important to remember that you're on a journey and it's not a race. And the fact that you stood up and spoke your truth, the fact that you got up this morning when you didn't feel like it, the fact that you even tried is so fucking dope, because most people, like, being honest, most people don't even try, okay? So you're already on the right path. If you're able to be accountable for yourself, and you're able to get out of bed and take action, you're already light years ahead of other people. Not that it's a race, but yeah, most people don't even try. So what I'm saying is, slow progress that's consistency over a period of time is what really, that's like what the water does to the rock. Like that's how you really do it. You'd see a lot of people out on YouTube that have been making videos, and a lot of people come on YouTube and they burn out really quick and they drop off a cliff. The ones that have been doing it, that have been around a long time, they work through I don't want to do this today. They work through that. It's all about working through the problems. It's all about working through getting out of your own way. And I'm big on that. I'm usually, or 99.9% of every time something didn't happen for me, or I wanted it to happen, it was because I couldn't get out of my own way. I couldn't just shift my mindset slightly just to see the opportunities that were available, or I couldn't shift my mind enough to go, wait, it's okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was, you know? A lot of the conflicts that we have, I've discovered, just speaking freely, when it comes to people and conflict, are things that are really a lot worse in our head than we think they are in reality. You know, that conversation with your partner about that thing that upsets you, or having that conversation with your boss, a lot of the time it's actually worse in your head, you know, than it actually is in reality. Like if you actually had that conversation with them, you'd be like, wow, it was like so not as hard as I thought it was. So I think a lot of the time we do tend to be our own worst enemy, and you know, I certainly have been my own saboteur for a long time, but I'm aware of it and I'm able to look at it and own that, and then I'm able to want to do something about it. So yeah, at the moment, working on it, this kid's book, I'm trying to take really quite truthful, complicated things and really kind of distill that and put that into something that is very digestible, and that an adult would get something out of, or a kid would get something out of, that isn't too complicated. And so for me, I've never done anything like this. And there are days when I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I know that I'm doing something. I know that this is going to work. I just believe that it will, you know, and that's the kind of blind faith that you have to have sometimes. So, yeah, so some of the tips is you need to get a support system around you. So if you're able to, I mean, even if it's Lifeline, even if it's just an anonymous person, sometimes you can get better advice off like a stranger than you can sometimes from a person that may be too close to you that you know. So I've had some great advice from people that I don't know personally, and I've been able to, you know, take that on board. So try and do something really drastic. If you're feeling stuck right now, I would say move and try and get in your body, try and get in your heart, try and center yourself, ground yourself. Music is very healing. I would recommend music therapy. So if you could just play some music around the house, you know, we know scientifically that it can change energy, and try and find something to be grateful for, something that you could be in gratitude for. And we all have things to be grateful for. So saying to yourself, like trying to get out of that funk, like even if it's really little things, like thank you heart for beating for me. Thank you lungs for breathing for me today. You know, isn't it just amazing that I can see the sunset today? You know, little things like that. They may seem really trivial and insignificant, but it is the little things. You know, life isn't like a fucking movie or a TV show where it's all, you know, like fucking Charmed or something. You know, life is like the baby crying down the street, the dog barking. You know, life is the mundane. That's real life. That's the real thing. So try and find something in gratitude, get in your body, and then think where your joy is, because where your passion is where your purpose is. Even if that's obscure and no one else believes in it, even if no one else cares to understand it, that's okay. Just be. Sometimes we just need to be. And then other times we don't. We need to just haul ass and get it done and suck it up. So, you know, I have I have a friend of mine, and she's doing, you know, studying law or whatever. And she says like, I don't like that. And I don't like that. And I'm just like, just suck it up and finish the fucking course. Sometimes we just have to see things through. I don't like doing a lot of stuff, but I just do it and I get it done and I get my habits corrected. So my journey every day is I get up and I want to get all of the shit out of the way. I want the house to be clean, the dishes are done, the floor is swept, my dog is taken care of, everything, all the little things that would take up time during the day, they get done. So, you know, I think it was about, I'll share something with you. I think it was about 2018 was a year for me that was really about my relationship with time and time management. So being able to stay grounded and centered enough to go, how many hours are in a day and what is realistic in the day. You know, what's realistic today? And one of the books that I'm going to share with you, which is actually a friend of mine, you may know her from the TV show, she's been on The Hills. She's also been on America's Next Top Model. Her name is Cutrone. She's also a Scorpion. Hey Callie, if you're watching. She did a really great book, which I'm recommending right now, which is called If You're Going to Cry, Take It Outside. And so the book really looks at and talks about a lot of our problems come down to one of three things: time, energy, and money. Okay? All of these three things are connected: time, energy, and money. So when you're able to decipher and boil down a problem, you can figure out which category it's going into, and then we can work on addressing that. But yeah, sometimes we need to be in our emotions, and then other times we need to get out of our emotions. So, I'm unpacking a lot of stuff here, but I mean, say for example, if you're standing in the middle of a road and there's fucking cars coming either way and you're going to get hit by a car, well then obviously you need to get your ass off the road, if not being in some crazy emotional state. So everything's relative, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just hoping that some of these notes are trying to help you. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help you. So a lot of our problems do come down to time, energy, or money. So yes. Now, one of the things, back to the integration and fragmentation thing, is that no one can make it on their own. Humans are an interdependent species. We need each other. Okay? There was a really famous experiment that was done where they isolated a monkey and separated it from another tribe or group of monkeys. And they put this monkey, they took it out of the group and they put it on an island away from the other monkeys off the mainland. And that monkey was dead within a couple of days to a week. Okay, now humans are no different. And we are living in an age of loneliness. You know, we're living in an age of some pretty fucked up statistics. You know, sometimes I look at them and I try and unpack them and it just scares the shit out of me because it's just sick. But we need to find our tribe. So if you haven't found your tribe yet, just believe that your tribe is out there and just keep knocking on those doors. Just keep looking. That's what I'm trying to do. Maybe you are my tribe. Hello. So I would say trying to get myself in a productive state of mind means that and I'm working really hard with this now, is that I don't let little things affect me. So I try not to let a comment someone made or the way someone looked at me or interacted with me down the street. I try not to let things that really aren't, things that just don't help me along in my end goal affect me. I tend to stay quite back. If you know, I'm not really a part of any of these tarot groups or any of these Facebook groups. I don't have a coven and I don't really associate with a lot of witches that do. I tend to kind of hang back a little bit. And yeah, the reason why is because I can get sucked in, just like you can, or we all can, into the ether of the internet. And we go down this road of listening to someone else, their opinion, and then everyone snowballs on that. And then we kind of get sucked into like a whirlpool of drama. And then you get sucked into it and then you get thrown out the other end of it. And you're like, I cannot believe how much fucking time I just wait. Like, what was that all about, you know? And sometimes I do take the bait. I call it the pig trough. Sometimes I do get in there with the pigs and I get in the comments and so, but I have to catch myself. And then I look at myself going, what the hell was I thinking? So yeah, I don't tend to want to be on Instagram a lot. I tend to stay away from social media because it's full of shit. It's full of distractions, and your brain, the human brain, was not designed to take in all of this information about the world. All of this stuff's coming in all at once. It is unrealistic to think that you could even be able to do anything about all of the problems at once. I only have enough energy and you only have enough energy to do something in your own world. So knowing all of the problems of the world, yes, it's a fucked up world. There's some fucked up stuff going on out there. There's some crazy ass shit going on out there. But knowing what the hell can I do about that, as opposed to what I can do in my own family, in my own relationship, in my own work, in my own community, is more important than getting caught up in the ether of the internet. Okay, because the human brain just wasn't designed for that, and it will fuck you up. Trust me, it will. So grounding, staying on task, and trying to stay away from distractions. If you're a man and you're watching this, or a woman, whatever, staying away from porn. Porn is very addictive. Scrolling, clicking, always addiction, distraction. Everything's fucking knocking you off course. So what I tend to do in myself, I tend to always focus on the end goal. So I'm not a boat that's just drifting out in the sea, getting jerked around by like the waves and the currents and the ocean. I am always focused on my task, staying on task. Okay? And that takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of sacrifice. I can't be at two places at one time. There's only one of me, and there's only one of me to go around at one time. Same with you. So you're better off being focused and staying and seeing something through in the moment that you're doing it, rather than doing a million fucking tasks at once. Okay, I used to do that a lot. I used to always have many things going on at once, but the quality just wasn't there. So I tend to see one thing through, and then when that panel or piece of artwork that I'm working on begins to come to its end and I finish that piece, the next piece kind of pops in. Just saying. So that's kind of how I do it. It is discipline. Okay? It is discipline. Now, when you're in your passion and you're in your purpose, you inspire other people to get in their passion and their purpose. So if I'm active, or if I'm around, not that I allow many people around me that are low vibe because I just fuck them off. But if I'm around people that are low vibe and it's a workplace, I don't engage with gossip. I don't engage with getting caught up in anything that is spiritually filthy. Okay, I'm not a little piggy that's going to roll around in the mud. I am a beautiful eagle. And I believe that I am a beautiful eagle, and so mote it be, and so it is so. I believe that a lot of the problems that I have is my relationship with myself, and I believe a lot of demons are actually metaphors for the demons that are within us that we have to actually deal with and address in ourselves. Okay? Everything in the external world is a mirror of the internal world. All right? So I don't waste time with bullshit. I won't engage. Even if it's a narcissist, I give them nothing. I just don't care. Don't care. Because I know I'm not going to take the bait. Okay? Now, if you're around me and you know me, I'm very committed to self-improvement. So you better be committed to self-improvement if you are in my life. And if you aren't improving and I've given you a few chances, then I start to drift away in my own direction, because I know that relationship isn't really sustainable long term for me to grow to meet my full potential. But part of the trap of that is that they actually don't know that. So a lot of people that are narcissistic or are quite psychotic or pathological, or they're lazy, or they're full of excuses, or they're full of shit, they don't know that, all right? But you do. Okay, there's a difference. So we just move away, we move away. We stay, I stay right back. And you would already know that. Yeah. So, yeah, and I've fallen off the tree many times. Like I have, I'm honest enough to say I don't have all the answers. I mean, who does? And when I think I've mastered something, then something else comes in, and that's life. We go through the whole spectrum of emotions. I have fallen flat on my face so many times. I mean, the quickest thing you can do in life, the best advice I could give you is just fail. Because if you can fail quickly, then we can grow quickly. Taking a long time and going down a road where you think it's going to work and it's not going to work, it's better to just fail now and then learn the lesson and then move on to the next lesson. And I know there's a line which I really hate, actually. It actually pisses me off when people say, you learn something new every day. And I'm like, no. A lot of days go around and I'm not learning shit. But what I would say is that's because I'm not working hard enough to go out there and read books and try and bring new information into my life. That's why at the level that I'm at, where I feel in myself, I don't let people come into my life or stay in my life unless they're adding value to my life. And I'm able to do that for them. So that may not always be comfortable to look at because change and growth is scary and it is painful, but that is the only way. And if they're not committed to self-improvement, or if they're not committed to facilitating me learning something new, well, then it's not going to be a relationship inequality. And I just move away. Okay, so the books that I wanted to share with you, one of them was called Taking Responsibility. And it is a really interesting book that it's a very heavy duty book, and it's by Nathaniel Branden. So if you could go check out that, I will leave a link in the description below. Very hardcore book. He also did another book, which I have as well. It's in my little library that I have here in my collection, which is called The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. And it's also very similar to a lot of the concepts that Jordan Peterson brings up with his Steps for Life program about taking accountability, making your bed, doing the little things like taking care of your own health, taking care of yourself, loving yourself, being proud in yourself, owning your truth. It's very important that we own our truth. And the Sagittarian side of me loves to say this because we're all about philosophical stuff and truth, is that it is so difficult to prolong something and sustain something that is just not real. So it takes a lot of courage to know the difference, to really know the difference between something that is real and something that is an illusion. Now, when there is illusion, there is always delusion. Okay, and this is very painful to face. It's very painful to see, but the sooner that we realize something that isn't real, this person isn't real, this relationship isn't real, then that can collapse and break down so something new can start. The longer that you subscribe to an ideology that isn't real, the more harder it's going to be to break free from that. Kind of like Morpheus in the red pill scenario in The Matrix, where he says we just don't offer the red pill to people at a certain age because they've subscribed to a narrative that's so crooked for so long that to try and shift that would just be chaotic, and it could actually cause more harm than good. And that's one thing that I have learned. Sometimes just because I know the truth and someone else is living a lie, calling it out isn't going to change that. Okay, so one of the things I'll say as well is that, say for example, you fix a problem or you're targeting a problem, what you'll find in life is that when you uproot that problem, it's kind of like a turnip or uprooting a carrot. When you pull it up out of the dirt, you'll actually see there's a lot of other carrots that are all attached to that carrot. So all of these extraneous variables and factors of all kinds, it's quite complex, have all come in to facilitate that problem. So what I'm saying is you can't uproot one problem without uprooting all of these other problems that are attached to it. And then if you change that and you fix that problem somehow, you're actually going to create another problem. I know it kind of goes without saying when we look at politics, and which by the way is a very shady business, you'll see that people try and come in and fix things and then something else gets fucked up from them fixing it. So it's like life is like whack-a-mole. It's like you hit one problem and the next one pops up and the next one pops up, and that's life, okay? It's just life. Just trust me, it is. So back to the book. Nathaniel Branden is 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. And it's a sentence completion exercise. So it's a lot of kind of trying to reprogram the brain, because we are creatures of habit. Humans are creatures of habit. So we create these habits, and the neural pathways in our brain make us think a certain way, make us behave a certain way. And then we have to kind of see that and then readjust that. And that takes a lot of effort and time and energy to sustain that over a long period of time, until that new habit kicks in. And a lot of habits that we do are unconscious. We don't know why we're doing them, because we're operating in the subconscious mind. We're not unpacking that things. So yeah, with shadow work, a big part of shadow work in psychology, with the Jung psychology model, looking at that, is that we are trying to trace the cord back to the wall so that we can understand why we're behaving the way that we are. And then we can adjust that. And a lot of that comes from childhood, because that's where the pillars of our life was based, the learnt behaviors, because humans are it's all learnt behavior. So I'm trying to cram as much as I can in this video. So yeah, habits. What time do you get up? What time do you go to bed? How much time do you give to this? How much time do you give to that? It's all about habits. Okay, so, and also recognizing that you can't give something that you don't have. So if I don't have the time and energy, I tend not to commit to something. I don't want to overextend myself and then look at a shithouse bunch of results. I tend to want to be like, I'm working on this, I'm doing this, I'll do this really well, and then I'll go on to the next thing, which is what I was talking about before. And a lot of it comes down to self-esteem. A lot of it comes down to emotions. I have said this before in previous videos, that in a relationship, whether it's a friendship or whether it is a lover, what it all comes down to is, how do they make you feel? When they walk through the door and you see them, how do they make you feel? Okay? How does that in your heart? That's why you're there. Yeah? That's why in relationships, if you're a woman and you're listening to this and the guy goes quiet, that means you've got a problem. Okay? And he's stonewalling you, that's because he's already moved on to plan B. Okay, if the guy can't communicate emotions, and by the way, if you can't communicate emotions and you have really poor access to your own internal system, and you have a really poor access to like communication, you can't communicate, it's already a complete waste of time. Okay, because life and the complex problems that you will face require commitment to expression. So yeah, for me, talking is important. I mean, if you can't even talk, I mean, what the hell are we going to do? All right, so next one. So yeah, it's really about adjustment. So always adjusting. I'm always looking at things that I can change, what is changeable, what's workable right now, what can I adjust. Life is like this. It's like this. It's a balancing act. It's a seesaw. Eating too much of the same thing will kill me. So it's also keeping things, moving. And I've recently learning, and I'm learning at the moment, that it's finished is better than perfect. Okay, so just executing it is sometimes more important than trying to perfect it. It's more important that we just keep moving on than it is to just sit stagnant and try and be a perfectionist, because nothing is perfect. I don't believe in 100%. I don't believe in 10 out of 10. Okay, that's insane. If you're a high performance person and you're listening to this and you already know about key performance indicators, there are key performance indicators in every aspect of life, including relationships. So yeah, so it's like really what it comes down to is big dick energy, okay? Do you have it? That's accountability, taking ownership. If something goes wrong in my life, it's my fault. It's nobody else's fault but my own, because it was my choice. I don't handball, I don't turn the other cheek, I don't pretend, I fucking own it. And as soon as I can own it, it's great, because now we can do something with it. But when you can't own it, you're fucked. You can't do anything with it, because you're playing make-believe and you're trying to make up excuses. Just cut it out, own it, all right? By the way, this life is not a rehearsal. This is not a dress rehearsal. You are not going to live for 500 years. So you should just Make the best of what you have right now and get fucking on board with that, because you're not coming back to live this life in this form, in this body again on a loop. It's not going to happen. So you do the best with what you can from where you are with what you have. Repeat. I do what I can from where I am with what I have. And that's all you can do. It's not a rehearsal. That's why whenever I meet someone and they're very kind of like, meh, like blasé, and they've got like a blankness to them, like a doll, bye, see ya, and I never ever come back, okay? I want to be around people that are serious about their life, okay? When I meet someone, or even if I see it on their profile and it says like, I go with the flow, only dead fish go with the flow, okay? Yeah, that's insane. You have to be the fucking flow, all right? And I understand that if whatever I do right now and tomorrow is the future, what I'm doing right now, I'm setting in motion, will become the future. So this whole thing of I just sit back and someone else will show up and take care of me, that is insane, and bye. Yeah, there's no excuses. Like these days with the amount of information that's out there, I mean, it's like a buffet. It's a free-for-all. I mean, you could go on Google or go on YouTube and look up something and they'll have an editorial there to show you how to open that program and work with that. There's always solutions. Back in the day when I was younger, before internets kind of came along, there was like, you have to do it on your own. Like there's no support systems. You have to go out there and try and find a library or whatever. These days, it's on the fucking internet for free. It's all free. Anyway, I feel like I've talked quite a bit. We're at 40 or so minutes. I've had a good time just rabbiting on, giving you some tips and some advice, giving you some thoughts, some food for thought, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. It's been nice to talk. This was my video for this week on how to get shit done, staying focused, don't let distractions distract you. See things through, okay? So it's like a boat in the ocean. You've got your destination, you're the captain, and you are moving that boat in propelling it forward to achieve the destination. Other than just drifting in the ocean, there's no place to go. So what I'm saying is without goals, you've got no place to go. So make small goals. What's my goal for this week? What's my goal for this month? What's my goal for this year? It's very important that we get strategic and write stuff down. By the way, as a witch, putting on my witching hat right now, I have a book of shadows, which is like a diary where I diarize a lot of the things that are going on with me, a lot of the spells, a lot of the rituals, a lot of my thought processes, a lot of ideas for new projects are always going down in the book. They're always getting written because there's so much shit coming in my brain. I can't keep up with all that. I have to just pick and choose bits of the things that really matter to me. And then I'm able to sustain that by coming back to it. So I keep a little book in my jacket or in my pocket, wherever I am, even beside my bed. I'm always in the bedside drawer and I'll write a little idea and it could just be one little word and that would be enough for me to pick up that word and go back and yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it here. Please like, share and subscribe to this video if you like what I'm talking about. I'd love to see some comments below if you'd like to leave a comment for me or even a suggestion about a future video. I'm always open to new topics. But yes, thank you so much for listening to me. I will see you next week when we look at another topic. But don't know what that'll be. I'm kind of keeping it open at the moment. I think it might be narcissist recovery, but I'm not sure. But we'll leave it here. Thank you so much and have a really, really good week. Okay, bye.